and sit down.
And there we go. Oh, wait.
Go.
There we go. Okay, cool.
I was like, what's going on?
Oh, it was so smooth. But it didn't work. Anyways, welcome to another episode of Build, Paint, Play. You know it's us because we got things wrong. Huzzah. Welcome everybody to season 4. The first season for 2024. Second show, but let's just imagine we pushed January 2nd back into 2023.
I mean, technically that was the holiday episode, so.
Oh, yeah. No, it was something. It was technically something. No, it was a great show. Definitely super cool talking with Adam and Kat. But we are excited now to move forward into the future. The future!
The future is now.
Now, it is now. A whole bunch of new things that we'll be talking about. Let's see who is in the chat. So we have Scott is here. Jeff is here. Scott is off to Las Vegas Open this weekend, as is John Schaefer.
Nice, have fun.
So definitely super excited. Scott is taking a weekend-long class with Ben Comets. That's going to be a killer class. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Adam and Kat will be there. They'll be
Adam and Kat will be there. Yep. Adam will be there playing King of the Hill with Combat Patrol. So if you take a Combat Patrol along, Scott, you'll be able to beat up on Adam. Chris says LVO was so much fun a couple of years ago when I got to go. Wish I could have gone back this year. I got to go in 2017, I think, with Simon.
I think I've been to 2 or 3 LVOs. I didn't go last year. I didn't go the year before that, but I think I went like in 2021 or 2022, and then I'm actually wearing my T-shirt for the year they didn't do it. That was the Las Vegas Nopen.
All right, that'd be 2021, I think. Yeah.
That's why he's got his bunny slippers on and his face mask. Elvis has got his mask on. Yeah. My company, we did the shirts for them for that particular show, and it was fun. They did like an online, sort of like marketplace, and so people could like still like get stuff from vendors and stuff. It was kind of neat, but it was a little weird. It was like the first one I think that they were like, we don't really know how to handle this. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Chris is here. So I mentioned that. Dave Hummel is here. Oh my goodness, Dave Hummel is here at the start of the show. Awesome. Very cool. Welcome, Dave. Matt Bowles is here. Hi, Matt. Josh is here. Scott said that he's coming to Nova in the fall.
Oh, nice.
Josh says Nova would be great. I need a roommate, Scott, right? Who else do we have?
Josh is here. Cliff's here.
Hey, Cliff. Dan is here. Hey, Dan. Who else?
Crown of Command.
Excellent. That's Josh.
Jez is here.
Josh just sent
me. My God, Mel's on.
Oh my goodness. Hey, Jez is here. Mel's here. Evening, Jez. Evening, Mel.
Wow.
So Jez and Mel both up after midnight. Welcome, guys. Nice. Awesome. Excellent. Did we catch everybody? I think we've caught everybody.
I mean, that's everybody that's commented. I mean, I don't know who else is here, but
yeah. Cool. Definitely good. Okay, fantastic.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. Obviously, we would like to thank our sponsor again, our season sponsor, Army Painter. We got to talk about the new Fanatic range last week, and then yesterday I put up all the new Fanatic, or not all the 2 new Fanatic products that are available are up on Alpha Omega for pre-order. I mean, you can pre-order a bunch of places, but if they're up on our website too. The only things that are out right now is the complete range, which I can only imagine that box is like the size of a Leviathan box. It must weigh like 30 pounds. I think it's what, 215,
216.
216. It's 216 paints, a paintbrush, a whole bunch of stuff. But it's one of everything in their new line. It looks incredible. And then there's the mega paint set, which is 50 paints. It comes with a cool like MDF like paint rack, and it comes with a brush in their little guidebook and stuff. It's kind of like the 50, I don't want to say best, but like the 50 kind of like most popular, most kind of ubiquitous colors. But yeah, they both look rad. It's gonna be so good. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I would have bought more today. I needed a couple of paints for the Warlords thing, and I needed colors that I don't normally use, which I'll get to later. But I was like, oh, I'll just buy the Army Painter ones, and then I was like, I don't want to buy the old ones. I want to wait and get the new ones. So I was like, nah, okay, I'll have to wait. But
yeah, just wait a little bit. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, they look nuts though. The new Fanatic range is crazy. I really like that on their page. They took as a sample, they took a bunch of, I don't want to say GW bases because that would get people in trouble, but they took a bunch of black plastic bases and just painted like stripes and then painted half the base. And they used like a bright green, a bright blue, a bright orange, a yellow, and the coverage that you get from the new paints, I mean, they're lights out. Like it's really, really good. So I'm excited to get my hands on some of their new technical ones too, like the was it glistening blood and dried blood, and they look really good. I'm excited for it. But again, thank you to our sponsor. If you guys are going to be at LVO, those of you that are, make sure you swing by their booth and tell Kat and Adam that you watch the show and you appreciate them being our sponsor, because we do. And I think you'll be able to try out the Fanatics at LVO. So like Scott and anybody else who's going to be there, Josh, definitely swing by and check them out and let us know what you think. I'm curious to get some other people's feedback, like folks that we know. So
excellent. Cool. It's crazy that you sort of jumped in and ran through all of that, because I have some pictures later in the Chris to talk about. But anyway,
that's why we do it live. That's how you guys know it's real. It's live. Like Dave and I did not do prep work.
We don't have show notes.
No,
we don't have show notes. We probably should. Maybe we should have. Maybe
we can start doing that. We can absolutely start doing that. We can start doing that.
What's that?
I said we can definitely start doing that.
Yeah. Let's do that. Cool.
All right. So what do you got first? What have you been working on?
What have I been working on? A few different things. First thing, actually, before I jump into that, I was going to say, so I think the night after the last show, no, we had to cancel that session. I was going to say, playing a little bit of A Song of Ice and Fire. Did I talk about that last time? Last season?
I think you mentioned that you were getting into it.
Yeah, so my every other Wednesday gaming group is we're playing A Song of Ice and Fire. So it might have been that. Yeah, it might have been 2 weeks ago. We played a game of Song of Ice and Fire. I played with my Starks, which are mainly Mormont units, and against a Greyjoy army. So that was really kind of interesting. They have a lot of really quirky special rules, which was like, there's one point where I ran my berserkers forward and like slammed into his unit with his general in it and killed like 2/3 of them. And then during the rest of that turn, a couple of things that he did along the way brought back like 7 of the 8 models that I'd killed. And it was like, oh, I didn't realize that was how this was going to work.
The Greyjoy, because you're playing like Starks, but you're playing like an Umber list, right? Basically.
Mormont list, mainly
Mormont list. Okay.
mainly Mormont. I'm going to be painting everything as Mormont, so like browns and greens.
Yeah.
But I'm using Umber Berserkers, Karstark Spearmen. I'm going to rebadge their shields.
Yeah, I got you.
That kind of thing.
It's a super fun game. Like I have a massive Stark army. I own like 2 starters plus the original, all the Kickstarter stuff. Like I have a ton of Stark stuff. And I was gonna run them all as Karstarks.
Okay.
Because it's close to my last name. It's like it's like if you took Krajewski and Stark and mashed it together, it's the Karstarks. And I was like,
right, yeah.
But like Ben and I were away at Gamma. I think we were at Gamma, and Simon was running like if you sign up for the tournament, you get a starter set for signing up to have. And I was like, why wouldn't we do that? So Ben and I registered, and I was like, well, I want all the new Stark stuff. So I got the new Stark starter, and Ben got the Greyjoy starter. And when you're looking at their models, the Greyjoys look like a bunch of heavily armored, like they're wearing like hauberks. They look like Vikings. They're wearing hauberks, and they have like great axes and stuff.
Yep.
So we're like, okay, like they were the new army. So Ben's like, oh, I guess they're like line trooper, like Viking guys. Like this will be great. So we thought they're going to be really good on the charge, and they'll be able to suck up a decent amount of damage. And we started playing them, and my Starks just like wiped the floor with them because they're, like you said, they're designed to be like a sneaky, like manipulative sort of like counter army. Yeah. And we didn't realize that until like turn 2. And then Ben was like, oh, I like this guy, like Victorian or whatever, or whoever the character is like, he wants to be specifically in this unit. Yeah. He's not good in any other units. He wants to be in that unit. And Ben was like, well, he's my general, so I'll put him in my scariest unit. And it was great because they were definitely tough, but he doesn't do anything for that unit. He's just like there. And I was like, okay, I'm like, yeah, this is weird. I'm like, I definitely, once we played it through, he was like, okay, I think I get how to use these guys now. But yeah, at first blush, you're like, oh, they're like a heavy infantry army. And it's like, they're not. They are like a smoke and mirrors army is what you want them to do.
Yeah, not exactly.
But it's a really, really cool game.
No, definitely. I was victorious against the Greyjoys, but I had to. We were just playing a 30-point learning game. We both had 4 units. Both had 1 NCU, and I was able to avoid his archers pretty well, and use then use a 4-on-3 strategy to wipe out 1 unit at a time. So, in the end, I think I think I lost 2 units. I lost my Karstarks and my Umbers, but still have my 2 Mormont units.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the She-Bears are like I think they're probably the best looking unit in the range. Like I just think they look fantastic. Like
they do look super cool for sure.
Yeah, I think them and maybe like the Frozen Shore Bear Riders, like they're really cool. But like, I mean, they're very northern looking units. I think those units I just think they look great.
They do look great. Awesome. Just quickly, I'm going to say hi to Sumkey. Sumkey is here, and Sumkey and Josh will be battling all night for the puns.
Nice.
Steven's here, Tabletop Super Show. Excellent. Hi, Steven. Cal's here. Hi, Cal. Jess says that's like planning, and plans go wrong. Let chaos reign. Okay, you convinced me. Awesome. Scott says the AK booth looks to be right beside the Army Painter booth at LVO, with monument a couple of stalls down, and command style mega brawl.
That'd be great. No touching of the hair or face, and that's it.
That'd be awesome. Yep. Excellent. There we go. Some pieces sounds like Dave's army has a stark difference when painted.
Nice. There we go.
Excellent. Just as need to test out the new AP line now. Definitely do yourself a favor, and if you get a chance, that'd be great.
I think you'll like it. It's really, really good, and the color selection is awesome.
Excellent. Excellent. There we go. Radio.
Oh, Mel wants to know what sets Fire and Ice apart from other fantasy rank and file games. I would say I would say I think one of the cool things about that game is the way that it was designed is it's an old school like unit based game. So you've got like, the big square templates, and it's either 4 cavalry dudes or it's, whatever it is,
12 infantry,
15, 20 like infantry guys.
12.
Yeah. So I really like that. I think the biggest thing that sets it apart is that it's not just about, oh, I got my charge off in your side arc, or I got my charge off on your flank or your rear. It's like once you have the charge, you have your off game character that can give your army bonuses. And then you also have like your cards you can play, because each army has like ploys and stuff that they can do. So it just, to me, it just feels like it's a little more involved. But the part of the deck mechanic thing too is that, and it's not that it's random, but you can kind of like tweak your army between rounds even. And like my army playing against like if I'm playing my Starks against Dave Starks, my army is going to play different. I'm going to use different stratagems than if my Starks are playing against like Lannisters. Like it's the same army even, but I might play my cards differently, or I might make different choices with my non-combat character. So like I think the non-combat character is a really cool wrinkle. The models themselves they're really nice. I think, didn't Big Child Creative do all the sculpts for them?
Did all the sculpting for it, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, the sculpts are great, and it's big. It's like 32 mil probably, because the horses are huge.
It's about
the horses
that.
are gigantic.
Yeah. No, definitely cool. But yeah, it is that there's a core set of rules and what do you call it? I guess where they call things like panicked and vulnerable conditions. There's a core set of conditions that you have, a core set of bonus rules like critical blow or sundering, that kind of thing, which is very, very limited. There's like three defense, or 3 negative and 3 positive kind of things. And then everything else is how you manipulate those during the battle. Stark have a lot of tactics cards that allow for additional movement. So there's a lot of getting into the right position so that you can charge at the right time, combine it with other units. Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely a cool game. One of the things they've done as well, Mel, which you might not like about it, is they've the terrain is not as like physical terrain up off the table is not as important. So you might not like that aspect of it. But yeah.
Bye, Mel. Spread the word, please. Please tell your audience about us. Maybe that'll help us out.
Yeah, that'll be good for sure.
No, it's really fun. Yeah, the terrain is the only thing that's a little weird because it's a template, but there's also not a lot of terrain. So
yeah. But anyway, have a good night, Mel. Catch you later.
Cheers.
Just that he's been working on some 1-to-1 scale heraldry. Man painted a couple of heater shields for his local castle, and with a heraldic squirrel on one. Basically, guy.
Nice
heraldry from the 1350 muster rolls. They're pretty cool. I checked them out on Instagram. So yeah, go and check out Jez. Is Jez Ancestor on Instagram, Jez? You can let us know. You can go and check out those things. Mel, I said in the game, in that
in the game, it's not important.
Which is why some people won't like it. But in other games, it's incredibly important. And look, I've got some right here that I painted recently. I got a picture of that coming up. But anyway, have a good one. And yeah, Josh says Song is one of the only games that I like using 2D terrain. Yep.
Yeah, it's one of the few games like I don't feel bad about it because I like having terrain on the board, but
yeah, for sure.
Their terrain is weird because all of the terrain in that game is essentially it's a template effect.
Yeah,
it's not really terrain. Like it's like, oh, you wandered into like the corpse pile. Cool. It's an area of effect thing, or it's like, oh, you wandered into whatever. It's an area effect thing. So it's less that it's terrain. It's more that it's like a template marker. Because like, if you're using any terrain, which you can, the only thing terrain would really do is like if you put like a forest on the board and I have archers behind it, it blocks line of sight.
Yeah.
So you could technically put real terrain on if you wanted. It's just the template. Like, oh, did you touch this thing? Then this effect happens.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
So what else have you been working on?
I'm going to show you. I'm going to actually, first up though, I posted it in the group. I got my decal sheet from Death Ray Designs.
Nice. Yeah, I saw you post about that.
You can see how big it is. It's an 8.5 by 11 sheet. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up.
Sort of.
Maybe.
Yeah, I see like triangles and stuff.
Yeah, so it's lots of white squad markings on almost white paper, like light blue paper. But yeah, so super excited. I have now put the decals onto all of the models that I've painted so far that need decals.
Nice.
So it's close to 100 models. And I still have, as you can see,
nice.
half a sheet there. And I've just knocked a whole bunch of things off my desk. But let me hit present, screen share, window.
Dave, your desk makes me itchy.
That's fair.
Like there's just so much stuff on your desk. I'm like, oh God, I just want to stop and clean up.
Dude, I don't have time. that's like a couple of day process. But anyway, here we go. So this was is the
so is that tactical?
One of the eradicators? No, this was close support.
Oh, sorry. I'm used to reading codex symbols. I was like, it's a triangle. That's tactical.
Well, all of them are triangles.
Okay.
So it's just variations of triangles. This one's close support because it's so there's range support is the main triangle in the center is upright. It's pointing up and has a little hollow triangle next to it, so it looks like mountains.
Okay.
Which are further away. So ranged. This one here, close support, is like a rock dropping on you. It's much closer. It's going to knock you out. But so close support there for the.
What does the white triangle represent?
And the white triangle, the solid white at the front is first squad.
Okay.
So yellow triangle is second squad. Red triangle is third squad. I didn't go for a fourth because you can only take 3 of each type of unit.
Sure.
So, yeah. And
did you use codex colors for your triangles?
Pardon?
Did you use codex colors for your triangles?
How do you mean?
Each company and squad have their own color if you're using a codex chapter.
Oh no, none of that.
Like white. The reason I ask is white is usually first.
All right. Yeah. No, it's nothing to do with companies, because the army is from Egil Shieldbreaker's Draka. So it's has a much more ad hoc feel.
Very nice.
But yeah, so I've got that. So I've got all those done. So like, all of these guys. All of the guys there, all of those guys. One of the super cool things about them, I mentioned it in the post I did in the community group, is that the carrier film is super thin.
Yeah, you were saying.
Yeah, it's the thinnest of any, certainly the thinnest of any custom transferred decal sheet that I've got, and it's certainly on a par, or if not a little bit thinner than like the GW sheets. So
nice, super
impressive.
Jez, I'm not a codex chapter. I'm codex adjacent. I'm a Blood Angel player, so we follow some of the rules, but not all the rules.
Right. Exactly. Matt asked if I'm using Microsol or Microset. I'm using Microsol.
That stuff's so good.
Yeah, so basically what I've been doing with these is the only downside of it being a custom sheet is that the carrier film is across the whole thing. So you've got to cut it nice and close to the decal.
Oh, instead of like dotting it like GW does.
Yeah.
I get you.
So
I mean, what I mean, I always try to get as close to the transfer as I can, anyways, because I want less. I want less there. So
yeah, but so I cut that out, soak it off the backing paper, lay it onto the shoulder pad for 10 guys, let it sit there and start to adhere. Then come along, put a dab of microsol on each one. Let them sit there for, I don't know, 20 seconds. Come back with another dab, put it on all of them. Let it sit there for 20 seconds, and then come along with a piece of paper towel, and then just like push it down onto the thing, so it'll soak up any additional microsol and make sure that it conforms to that shape. And it comes away and it's super smooth. So you can't.
I always just use a brush. I go and I put all the microsol on, and then I'll go back and I'll do super thin layers. I just go back over it, and it'll curve the transfer into shape. Yeah,
I do it this way because I know that it's gonna work for me, and it's gonna soak up that extra, and it's not gonna slip. The decal isn't gonna slip across the shoulder pad.
Nice.
So, but yeah, works really well. Love it. And then gloss varnish and then matte varnish over it, and then the weathering. But I also painted up, as I mentioned, a piece of terrain, a couple of pieces of terrain actually, for the pages of Game Trade magazine.
Nice.
For the March issue. So that's
very nice. Yeah, there we go. You got some of the squad leader markings.
Yeah, that's one that I actually messed around with earlier. That's the similar sort of thing to the Soul Haunter guy.
I like it.
Still not sure about it, but we'll see how it goes.
I like it. I think it's a nice splash of color. Because again, their faces, the helmets are awesome. There's just so much blank white real estate. It makes me want to do stuff. Like if I was doing this, I would get one of my Micron pens and I would do like Celtic scroll work down like the face, like I like Viking tattoo style. Like not on all of them, but I would do it on some of them. I did that for a squad of. I converted a squad of like when Primaris Marines first came out, like at the beginning of 7th or whatever, or 8th. No, yeah, 8th. At the beginning of 8th, when Primaris Marines came out, all they had was basically like what came in the starter box, and that was it. So I took a squad of 5 intercessors and I converted them using Space Wolf bits and like old Chaos Warrior bits. So I gave them like fur cloaks and like, squad like wolf tails and stuff. And I did a bunch of like scroll work, like face tattoos and like hand markings on all of them. And it was just super fun because there's just so much to play with there. So that's my favorite.
Yeah.
But they look great. I approve of the marking. If you don't want it to look like Soul Hunters, maybe don't do red. But like, I think the face markings look sick.
I think I'll mess around with something else. I got a couple of other ideas, but we'll see how it goes.
Nice.
But a lot of my sergeants don't have helmets, so. But I've decided that sergeants will all have that tilting shield. So.
The terrain looks great.
Yep. Yeah, it's like super simple. It's the Barren Hills from Monster Fight Club.
Yep.
So
the terrain is great. You just throw it in a tub when you're done.
Yep. Looking at the chat, Jez says Codex Curious rather than Codex Adjacent. Jim says the Codex is more of a guideline than it is a rule book.
Depending on what chapter you are, yes.
Yep. Scott says I use Microsol and Microset. Paint over the film usually. I think I do decals pretty decently.
I don't know what decals are. There's no K on that word. It's decals.
Excellent. Sean Gleason has joined us. Hi, Sean. And excellent. Thanks, Josh. And yes, Jake approved. Very cool. Yes, sergeants have hard heads. No need for helmets. What else do I have on here? Oh, okay. The next thing new thing, something new.
Is the Battle Camper apparently, or Jordan Sorcery?
Well, new for this season. I'm introducing it. I haven't told Jake about it. It's surprising him.
Okay, let's hear it.
But
we have a Patreon.
Pardon?
We have a Patreon.
No, we don't. We haven't done that yet. But no, I wanted to highlight some YouTube channels and some Instagram accounts that I have been enjoying. And as we go through the season, Jake will send me his thoughts on additional YouTube channels and Instagram accounts that he's been enjoying. But Jordan Sorcery, I don't know if you've checked out Jordan Sorcery at all, Jake.
I do not do a lot on social media ever. Like,
but this is a YouTube channel.
This is the extent of my YouTube. Is
fantastic. Okay. So I watch quite a bit of YouTube, and I enjoy watching people talk about the history of different things, of wargaming, of Games Workshop, of a whole bunch of different stuff. And it always amuses me when I hear them talk about different things and they get it so completely wrong. And of course, they've pinned the whole thing around a rumor or a conspiracy theory. And at one point, just after Christmas, I was having lunch with Brendan Bell, and I said, there needs to be some sort of service where these YouTube channels can come to this service and get like have this service do their research for them.
But that's not how the internet works. Like,
I know it's not how the internet works.
Where I say something that's absolutely insane and unsubstantiated, and then I get a million people like retweeting it. Like that's how the internet works. Absolutely.
That is how the internet works. However, I did want to say that Jordan Sorcery, Jordan's channel is awesome because he does his research. He is personally interested in the history, and he does a whole bunch of great interviews with folks where he sort of prods them along but lets them speak. He'll throw in, over the course of an hour-long interview, he might sort of have 6 questions. And folks like Thomas Pirinen there talking about revolutionizing Warhammer Magic and the fantasy Realm of Chaos box set for 4th edition, 5th edition? Yeah, 5th edition. And the changes that Thomas brought about. There's Alan Merritt in there talking about his time at GW, which was great to see Alan's point of view for a bunch of things. But yeah, if you're interested in the history of gaming and role-playing and that kind of thing, Jordan Sorcery is definitely a great channel to check out. Yeah, Josh says Jordan has the big fish spilling the beans. Indeed. Cliff Edders says Brendan Bell. That's a name I've not heard in a long time. Indeed. Battle Camper. Battle Camper is another channel that I've had a lot of fun watching over the last probably year and a half. But I want to bring people's attention. So Alex Temple, who runs Battle Camper, the broad shtick is that he's a big Lord of the Rings fan, big Middle Earth strategy battle game fan. He goes to a lot of tournaments around the UK, but he has a van, and he's done things like
battle with it.
Fun.
And he goes into battle with it.
He does go into battle with it. Yeah,
nice,
yeah, for sure. No, it'd be things like he was going to be painting up some eagles. So he decided, okay, well, I'm going to drive to the UK. Drive to the place in the UK. So he's based in London. Drives somewhere in the UK where the eagles are known to roost. So we'll be painting eagles with eagles, kind of thing. So he'll drive there. He'll camp. It's essentially a bit of a travel vlog, with the addition of awkward wargamer. Struggles to paint while dog licks water out of the paint cup, that kind of thing.
Nice.
But a lot of fun. Definitely a cool, fun sort of setup. But yeah, just goofy. I really enjoy his channel. What else we got in there? Josh says if it weren't for rumors and hearsay, life would be extremely dull. Just says Film Deg Miniatures is doing good on interviews at the moment. John Blanche, Rick Priestley, etc. John's channel is excellent though. Thumbs up. And Stephen says, yeah, I've been really enjoying that YouTube series. That's the Film Deg Miniatures interviews, which are definitely cool. Oh yeah. Oh, Brett Abbott's here. Hey Brett, great to see you. Brett says I was amazed Jordan Sorcery got Mark Wells on. Yeah, that was definitely a great interview to see that, because there was Mark Wells was there for a bunch of the time that I was there. Well, Jake and I were there, so definitely cool. Anyway, oh, Tim's here. Hey Tim,
what's up, Tim?
Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And then a couple from Instagram. I grabbed Hellglazer. So,
I've seen that that Gilliman throne room thing. I've seen that before.
Oh, yeah, from Baharoth, Cry of Old Paint. Yeah. He does absolutely spectacular dioramas that are just completely insane. And yeah, this is one of his most recent massive pieces. So that Gilliman sitting on there.
That's a different guy. That's a different guy that did the is that the same guy that did the source lighted Triumph of St. Catherine and like the zombie thing?
Yeah, I think it's a different guy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Baharoth Cry of Old Paint did which I love his name as well. I'm pretty sure he's the one who did the throne room. For like the basically the reworking of the classic piece of
the John Blanche one. Oh, I mean, not the John Blanche, the Adrian Smith one.
No, I think John Blanche.
Oh, the original. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, Jed says Baharoth is excellent, definitely. And yeah, Hellglazer though there's an account that came to my attention recently. But he's been painting this this Imperial Fist for a little bit, and I keep looking at. He's been posting work in progress photos along the way, and I kept looking at them because I've been painting a lot of Space Marines, right? Endless amounts of Space Marines, and some of his parts that he's been showing, I'm like this particular arm, the right arm holding that pistol. It's like I had no idea that there was an arm that had that detail on it, or that detail could be painted so finely. It was absolutely incredible. It's like I might need to get my prescription checked for my glasses. But yeah, absolutely beautiful stuff. So for those four, I put some links down in the notes below, so you can go and check those out. Give them a like or a subscribe or a follow or whatever they call it, wherever it is. Sounds good. So what do you think about doing that each week?
Sure. I mean, that'll be Dave's segment, and I'll just sit here and go.
Okay, well, it'll make up for later on when you start talking about BattleTech or something.
Sure. I mean, hey, whatever.
Cool. Awesome. Scott says, I thought Dave and I would have a lot of YouTube crossover. Turns out none at all. How did that happen? Excellent.
No, you missed it. The best part of that comment is the second half where he goes, painting eagles with eagles. All right. Fact checking nerd history. Yikes, bro. Oh man.
Excellent. Excellent. And Cliff says, oh my god, my freaking vision has definitely gotten worse today.
Oh dude, I get it. When I paint now, I paint like this. So like yeah. My vision is like where it is now, where anything closer than about here,
yeah,
it starts to get a little blurry.
Right.
So like when I look at my phone, I either look at my phone like this, or I'll just kick my glasses up and I look at it like this. But it's like this weird, I don't know, like 12, like 8 inches to like 2.5 feet. Like this 18 inches is just blurry.
Excellent.
So when I paint, if I paint with my glasses on, I have to paint at like arm's length. So I'll paint like this.
Right.
And if I'm doing like, block highlighting or, base layers or whatever, that's fine. If I'm painting detail, I end up painting like this. So I can see the pot on the table and then I do all the detail like super close. Like this is how I like to paint. So right. I hear you, man. Like it is getting rough.
Show us again. Show us again.
Oh, how I paint?
Yeah. Because
usually like this. So again, if I turn sideways, I'm about this close to the miniature.
Right.
This way I can still see the paint pot on the table.
Right. Wow. But yes.
A buddy of mine's doing the whole he bought it's a magnifying glass, but I don't know what it's for. It's it's on a stand with all these different lenses you can put in, and he paints. He puts his miniatures on the other side of it. Yeah, it's here on the table, and he paints in front of it. And I was like, I don't think I need that. My up close, my vision is good, so I can see all the detail. It's just it's that weird it's this this foot sucks. Right. So at normal length, that's not good. I can't really see with my glasses on or without them.
Yeah,
but
excellent. Josh says he got a nerd visor, the old I set in a couple of years ago. Excellent. Scott wears glasses to paint, and now I think I've started the process. The glasses have made my eyesight worse in other aspects, quite possibly. Tim says I got my progressive lenses, and then I have the old man eyes glasses as well. And Sean says I have transition glasses, but I don't use them at all. Oh.
There's another buddy of mine. He bought if you go to CVS or Walmart or any local pharmacy, you can usually get readers, which are just non-prescription reading glasses.
Yep.
And he'll put them on the end of his nose when he's painting.
Right.
And I'm like, really? He's like, oh yeah, it just helps me. If I need to get in really close, I just look through the lenses. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yep. Cliff says, "Build, paint, play. Come for the toy soldiers. Stay for the old man chat."
Yeah. You kids today with your TikTok.
And Jim says, "Lighting has been my biggest issue. You get yourself a good light."
This summer we're going to talk about lawn care.
Yep.
We're going to do a whole segment
and how to keep kids off the lawn.
Yeah, one-to-one terrain and lawn care.
Awesome. Well, let's jump into some other conversation about new things too. So I'm going to bring this up, and we'll whip through the first couple because Jake has already talked about them earlier in the show, which are the wonderful War Paints Fanatic range from our season sponsor, the Army Painter.
Yep, so that's it.
Pre-orders
the one on the right is the mega set.
Yep.
And that comes with 50 paints, comes to that little rack, comes with a paintbrush. And then the one on the left is the complete set. So it's all 216 colors. And I think there's 3 brushes in there or 4 brushes or something.
Something like that. Yeah. They appear to be brushes down the front there. Well,
but it's bonkers.
There we go. Awesome. So this, the piece of terrain I painted, I just painted that with black. The matte black, the Pharaoh Guard, and the Aqua Alchemy, which are part of the teal's flexible triad.
Oh yeah, they're third row down, right in the middle. Pharaoh Guard is the nice sort of greenish jade, and then 2 to the right of that is Aqua Alchemy. It's right underneath crystal blue.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these colors. I can't wait to get my hands on some of these.
And this is one from 2 weeks ago. So when and how much? Now we know that they are on pre-order. The Mega Paint set, the 50 paints and the rack, I think is $199. And
I think it's hang on, I'll check. I will check.
And the other one, the complete set, is $799. So it's a huge investment.
No, it's $199 for $199 for the Mega Paint, and it's $759.
$759.
The complete.
Still a huge investment, but that is a lot of paints you get in there.
Yeah, it's every color.
Yeah. So definitely cool. I think it's what's that work out at $375 a pop rather than $425.
No, it ends up being like 350, almost 352
Okay.
a pot if you buy the complete set.
There we go.
It is a crazy deal.
Jake doing my math for me.
It's like 351. It's like $3.51 0.8. So it's like
sure. There we go. Cool. So now we know. Awesome stuff with great paints. Next up, Legions Imperialis. How'd it go in your store?
Dude, it is awesome. Like we sold a ton of it. It's super fun. Today I sold 2 Thunderhawks.
Yeah.
It's like the minis are just gorgeous. Like it's the same prints as their full-size ones. They just scaled it down digitally and just printed them. So like there was a kid a couple of weeks ago, he painted a Sikaran and a Rhino, and he staged them in such a way that you couldn't tell like if they were epic scale or if they were full size.
Right.
Just because the way he like put them on a table with terrain, it was like, man, are those epic or not? And then he took another photo where he backed up and they're like they're clearly the epic scale versions. I mean, the sculpts are awesome. And like all of the Titanicus stuff, anybody who has any Titanicus, it's all the same scale. So the idea is if you use your Titans from Titanicus in Imperialis, it's just a different rule set, but everything is built to that scale. So it all the Aeronautic Imperialis stuff is the right scale. Titanicus is the right scale. All the city terrain they made for it is the right scale. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, for sure. Just quickly, Steven says, I've heard only good things from the new AP range, but good God, man, I have like 600 paints. That's cool. You don't have to grab them straight away. As you run out of a particular color, consider checking out that new range for one paint at a time. Absolutely fine.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the way the launch is going to work out is it's these two sets. It's the mega set and the complete set, and then within a month or two of that, we'll probably get like the most wanted set and the new starter set, and then you'll get the full range. So you can just if you're cool with waiting, you can just buy pots. Like I know my buddy Adam, like we talked about last week, Adam Pratt. He's just going to buy the box. He's just going to buy the complete set. That way he's like, I got them all. I don't need to worry about it.
Yeah. I suspect that Steven's probably okay with waiting.
Yeah.
I like that Dave is just saying numbers. Jake is correcting him on Army Painter pricing, and Dave is legit enjoying it, like that weird channel he's promoting. He's on brand like that. I am indeed.
Yeah, he's consistent.
Excellent. And back to Legions Imperialis. Sean is working on assembling his. Dave says, can't pull the trigger on Legion. Hobby budget is already strained. Dave, I'm going to say exactly the same thing. I've got a bunch of friends who are very definitely getting into Legions Imperialis. And I would no doubt be able to get a load of games, but
I will say price wise, it's actually priced pretty well. Like this specific box.
I'm sure it's priced okay, but
like for me, the big thing would have been like Titans, because like I always want to play Titans. So I already own a bunch of that for Imperialis. So all I was going to do for this is now I would have like troops and stuff that can take objectives. It is definitely a different game. Like some kid was complaining a couple weeks ago about how he didn't like. I forget what I was on, but some kid was complaining about how he doesn't like Imperialis because he feels like the Knights aren't good enough, or the Titans aren't good enough. And I was like, it's not a Titan game, and it's all about like activations. So when a Titan goes, don't get me wrong, they're still gross. So it activates and it like deletes a unit. Like it just picks. Oh, it's like, oh, you have that squadron of Sicarans and like that, like, company of Space Marines. So for its turn, it focuses all of its armed weapons at that, and then its carapace weapons at that, and it just removes them. Like they're just dead.
Yeah.
But then that's all it gets to do. So then for the Space Marine turn, he's like, I'm going to have this group of Space Marines go into a building, and they're going to take that objective. And I'm going to have this unit of tanks like drive over here, and they're going to drop off their Terminators, and they're going to take that objective. And then I'm going to do this with my Dreadnoughts, and they're going to knock down this unit of like, Ogrins. And then I'm going to put Space Marines out of a Rhino, and they're going to take that objective. And the Titan player's like, I didn't do anything. And I'm like, well, you killed 2 units. You just can't take objectives because you don't. That's not what they do. Like it just walks around and kills stuff.
Yeah.
So, but it's a really fun game. It is balanced really well, and it feels like a 2.5. Like for a lot of us played Epic, right? Like a lot of us played like Epic or Space Marine back in the day.
Space Marine,
and
yeah.
then they did the second edition.
Yeah. Or they like the Epic 40K.
Yeah.
40,000.
Yeah. So this feels like it's very familiar if you played second edition, but then they clearly have like amended it and cleaned it up and like added some stuff. But it feels familiar. It feels like just a polished version of that. So it's really good. It's a super cool game. And the minis are awesome. The detail they got on the little Leviathan is just rad.
Right. Excellent. Dave Hummel says, I know I would go full bore into it like all of my hobbies. There's no moderation.
Well, at the top, Dave was talking about how he could either like pull the trigger and get either a big super paint set or a Thunderhawk. And I'm like, if you go Imperialis, you could do both. You could get a Thunderhawk for like $60 and then you can get the set.
Set of paints. Fantastic. Excellent. So it says, I was pumped. I didn't buy any. Got a free Rhino and little scales, GW Mini of the month. I felt no desire to paint more. I passed the test.
And now Scott can diminish and go into the West.
Yes. Awesome. But no, I am, as you see more and more of the releases and more of that detail that we're talking about, like the fact that you can have like that these are plastic epic predators.
Like looking at those, I'm like, oh, are those your 40K? Are those your Horus Heresy predators?
No.
Right. But they could be.
Yep.
Like the detail on them it's really, really nice. I'm pleasantly surprised with it. I will say also that, Dave, you don't need to buy a full size Thunderhawk. Like nobody does. It is literally a point sink.
Nobody needs one. Nobody needs any of this, Jake.
No, but I mean, like, so I was talking to Ben, right? Like we were chatting about one of the biggest things that I like the way that they did it in Horus Heresy is if you run a super heavy in Horus Heresy, and someone kills it, they automatically get another victory point. So it's whatever that's worth plus a victory point because you killed a super heavy.
Right.
And to be fair, almost none of them are prepared to really make their points back. Like it'll kill a bunch of stuff, but it's probably not going to make its point back. And then when your opponent kills it, they get those victory points plus another victory point. Like it's just like, here, have an advantage.
Yeah.
So they are a total head fake. You are way better off not taking a super heavy.
Right. That's in Horus Heresy, you're saying.
Yeah. Cliff, imagine showing this photo in 2003. Yeah, showing this 21 years ago, I'd have been like, this isn't epic.
You lie.
Yeah, that's not epic.
That's fantastic.
I do have a soft spot for the old epic or Titanicus like Beetleback Warlords.
Right.
I still love that model.
Yeah. I think it's definitely better than the boxy one, than the what pattern was that? I can't remember.
Oh, that was the second one that they did. I don't remember the pattern, but that I didn't remember the pattern because I didn't like that. I didn't like that version. I think it looks terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, these look awesome. But you can also tell that I don't have any of this stuff because I've pinched the photos from somewhere else. So this is Warhammer that was using these. But I'm just amazed that it's not only that you have the different options, the different weapon options to stick on the models, but also that there's that level of detail within the game.
Even like the individual like Marines themselves, because everything crept up slightly. Because it's definitely big. It's definitely bigger. Yeah, it's definitely bigger than it used to be, but they look great.
Yeah. Excellent. Tim says that his first 40K set ever was the first
Epic box.
Third box set.
Yeah.
Oh, first Epic box set.
Yeah.
And Chris said the original Titanicus was the first GW game that he ever played. Any complaint is that they haven't released the tanks from the starter box yet. Excellent.
They haven't released. Yeah, they haven't released some of them. But they need to. They've released like half, but the rest is coming.
So, Jake, do you think you'll be jumping into Legions?
I might. If I do it, I'm not going to do it till probably like I won't even think about it till the summer.
Right.
I just have so much to get through, and then with all the shows we have coming up, like I'm not going to be able to start like something else. But if I think we're doing a grow league in the summer, and if we do, I'll probably jump into it. Like I said, for me, I'll just buy the new like the Legion box, which is like not the full starter. It's the one that's like the supplement box. I'll probably just buy that, and then I'll add it to my Titanica stuff.
Okay, that's cool. I will be holding off for as long as I can. We'll see. So many other things to do, including Warhammer The Old World.
Yeah, it's pretty gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie.
So, what do you think about this? How the pre-orders going in the store? For this?
We've sold so much of this stuff, so much of this stuff. A ton of people bought the rule book because they want to use their old armies. We have a couple guys who already have like, a Skaven army and whatever. So they basically just picked up the rule book, and then there's like the Forces of Fantasy and the Forces of Evil. So, we had a couple guys that basically bought the rule book and then like their whichever flavor of armies they wanted. But then we sold a ton of the starter set, and there's two. So there's the Bretonnian starter and there's the Tomb King starter. We sold a ton of those. Yeah, they're just gorgeous. Like they're super, super nice. The weirdest thing to me is supposedly the boxes are balanced army wise, but price wise they're different. Because the Bretonnian box I think is like it's like $250 or $245 or something like that. And actually I'll tell you right now. Because I have that page open. Awesome. Yeah, the Bretonnian box is $255. And the Khemri box, the Tomb King's box, is $290.
Right. Yeah.
But it's because there's way more units of skeletons than there are, in the Bretonnian box.
Yeah. The again with my YouTube watching, I was watching Ninjon yesterday, and he said that for this box, he went in his video about it. So quite a few complaints about the fact that there are the old models in there, apart from the big Lich Dragon or whatever. And he said that he priced it out based on basically looking at the prices that they were when they released in 2004 or 2003, and adjusted for inflation and worked out what the price of the Lich Dragon would typically be, added it all together, $400. It's kind of is what that box would have been. Normally.
I mean, their box sets are always a good deal. Like, they're always a good deal. Like we sold 3 more copies of Leviathan. Like, when I think I'm one of the last stores probably around that still has Leviathan in stock, and I did it deliberately. Like, when we put in our numbers, our GW rep was like, "Are you sure you want that many?" And I was like, "Yep." I'm ordering extras, and he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because it's an awesome box set, and everyone will want it." So. Yep. We priced it out the other day. Like some kid came in and he wanted to buy Space Marine stuff. And I was like, what do you want to get? And he's like, I want a box of Terminators. I need I want 1 box of like, he wanted a Dreadnought and he needed the rule book. And I was like, just buy Leviathan. And he was like, why? I was like, the 3 things you just listed are almost the price of the box.
Yeah. And you get all the extra stuff.
Yeah. I was like, well,
sorry.
I just did a phone call. Yeah, it's nuts. But again, it's the same thing with these 2 new boxes for the Old World. The value you get in buying all of their starter boxes, they're always ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's smart too from a business standpoint. I get it. It's like, well, we'll make it so that we're not losing any money on this box, but we're probably not making a ton of money on it. But the idea is that you're going to start playing this game, and then the hope is that you'll either get more players in, or like you'll become a fan, and then you'll start, buying stuff from us regularly. Like that's the plan. And I think GW has always done a really good job in that regard. I mean, back when you and me and Cliff were there, I remember doing stuff like, remember they used to do, what do they call it? We sold battalion boxes.
Yeah.
Like the battalion boxes were the same thing. They were a great deal. And then, once a year they'd put out an army box.
Yeah.
And they were always a fantastic deal. So I get it.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Looking at the chat, Dan Wood says we don't need more models. We need Titan transfer sheets.
Well, you're in luck, Dan, because they got I think there's 4 or 5 new sheets of Titan transfer sheets coming.
Dan and my friend Ben Hardy would get along really well. Ben is always about the Titan transfers. Matt Bowles says back to Khemri. Dave Hummel is sad he got rid of his oversized Empire army. Cliff is going to have to dig deep into the hobby closet for my old Empire Middenheim army. Fantastic. Steven says he will likely just get the rule book for Old World at least. That's the starting point for sure. Jess says I was looking at the skeleton horse sprues. They're from 1993. I was still a teenager then.
I was graduating from high school.
Oh my goodness. I was close to graduating from college. I'm a little bit older than you guys. There we go. Sean says I ordered the rule book and the Forces of Good book. I think 2 weeks ago I might have mentioned talking about the names is like Ravening Hordes. Cool. We all know Ravening Hordes. And Forces of Fantasy. I said, that's a dumb name. Where did that come from?
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, that's a weird choice. Like, I was like, that could be good guys or bad guys. It's just Forces of Fantasy. I was like,
Well, the crazy thing is, so Ravening Hordes, I knew Ravening Hordes from like 6th edition, I think, when they put out which was essentially the index for that. So it had all the list for all the armies in it. The Ravening Hordes title was taken from a book from like 85, 86 called Ravening Hordes. But at the same time, there was also one called Forces of Fantasy. So it's a callback to both of those original ones.
I mean, that's cute. That's cute and all. I don't know how effective that is.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, it's still a dumb name, but at least I know where it's coming from now.
I think my only real issue with this is that, and I understand why they're doing it. They released a thing the other day talking about how there's like 6 or 7 armies, I think, that aren't technically supported in the Old World. And they've talked about how like they will not be legal to play in organized tournaments or any kind of sanctioned event. And it's stuff like vampire counts, dark elves, lizard men, things like that. And I was like, I'm hoping that that's just a wording thing. And what they mean is that nomenclature wise, they don't exist because you'd be playing Soulblight or you'd be playing Seraphon, and they're just going to redo them with new rules. But I really hope that's not the case, because if literally the 3 of the 7 armies they listed are armies I played in Warhammer Fantasy. So I was like, I guess I just won't play Warhammer Old World.
Here's my take on that. They're not in there in this initial push because they've picked a time frame and here's what's going on in that time frame.
Right.
They've also talked a lot about Kislev. They've talked about Cathay, and those 2 weren't mentioned in anything. So there's room for this to expand to other places, to switch to other timelines, to include some of those others. But I'm sure it was more of we can't all of a sudden be instantly supporting 20 ranges, 20 armies, right? So let's put these ones aside because they don't make sense in the environment that we're creating.
Right.
Put those aside. And what they were doing in that thing where they said these will not be tournament legal and they won't be getting support is so that people won't go, well, where's my support? Where's my characters? Why isn't this any good in the tournament? We told you very clearly in this paragraph here. Yep. Look at that. That's set your expectations. Now you can go away and you can do whatever you like, in tournaments that are run in your store, you can run those however you like. Tournaments that are run by people at Adepticon can be run however they like. It's just tournaments that are run by Games Workshop. So at the GW Open events around the US or in Warhammer World or whatever, won't include those armies.
Right. No, I look, and I get it.
That's
I
my
realize
take on it.
that.
You can still do whatever you like. It's your
No,
hobby.
and look, I realize that. Like I said, it seemed weird to me because I was like, you're not supporting most of these armies, though. Like, I mean, most of these armies aren't really getting support. Right now, Bretonnians and Tomb Kings. So 2 of the 32 armies.
9. 2 of the 9. Yeah.
Right. But like, there really isn't 9. There's like 26. Like, there, you got Wood Elves, you got High Elves, you get Dark Elves.
We're gonna wait to see what is going to happen with those others. But they're the ones. No. They're the ones that they're going to be taking those steel molds off the shelf, sticking them into the machine, and pumping plastic into again. Right. Is those 9. But they won't. They won't be making more. They won't be pumping out more Skaven Gutter Runner box sets.
Sure. The 4 armies that I played in Warhammer Fantasy were Vampire Counts.
Yep.
Wood Elves, Dark Elves, and Chaos.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I guess I just won't use most of those.
Warriors of Chaos and Wood Elves are both in that list.
Yep.
So you're good there.
Right, but of course, those are the 2 armies that I sold. I still have my Dark Elves and my.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's not on Games Workshop. That's on you.
No, but I was like, oh yeah, Old World's like, I'll just jump back in and use my armies. They're like, you can't do that. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't use my armies that I. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's a shame. It is a shame. But you can totally use them. They're going to have rules.
Again, I'm not really that upset about it. Like there are tons of games that I'm playing. I'm not really that worried.
Yeah. All good. Just quickly, in the chat, Josh says, my old Hammer Dwarf army is ready for the new Old World. Just quickly, I have invited Josh to come on and be a guest on the show. So we will talk with Josh sometime in February once he's had a chance to get a few games of the Old World under him. And so we can have a bit more of a I guess informed chat about it, and hopefully we'll have a bit more of an idea of where it's going, what's happening.
Sure, yeah.
But
again, as a fan, I'm super excited for it. I think it's great, and the fact that they picked the 2 armies that have had like the least amount of love in the last 15 years.
Yeah. One of the things that I thought was super crazy is that they got. So Pete the Wargamer has a YouTube channel, just so you know. So he's a guy who does a whole bunch of conversions, usually, or just recently Games Workshop sends him something and he turns it into something else. But they contacted him and said, hey, could you do a video on making unit fillers? Which has been like a definite no-no for official Games Workshop tournament stuff for such a long time. But now for the Old World, they're like, oh no, it'd be super cool to have these unit fillers. So we did a video on making unit fillers. So
when you say unit fillers, you mean he's making proxy units?
No, unit fillers are like if you've got, let's say you painted up 32 skeletons, but you want to have a unit of 40. So you make a base that's the size of 8 skeletons. And you put in this case, you might put like an obelisk on there, like a Khemri obelisk, or you might put the Casket of Souls on there, or something like that. But it's something that isn't another 8 models. It's just something that fills out the unit.
Okay, interesting.
So that you've got a bit more flexibility in the size of the units that you can run. But it's a super interesting thing. It's a super interesting direction that they're going. It's subtle, nuanced, but we'll see what happens with that. Matt says there are no skeletons in the Bretonian box. There are. They're just covered in meat.
True.
There are meaty skeletons there.
There's a ton of skeletons in the Bretonian box.
Just says, my friend cursed me by giving me the Moonstone starter box for Christmas. I was doing so well to not get into that game. And now I obviously have to buy all the things. Definitely cool. Josh says it's nice to see people excited about playing Warhammer again. Definitely cool. Our group in Japan here are pretty pumped about it, which is great. And yeah, anything that lets people play more games and paint stuff is good, for sure. Sean says his Wood Elves and Dwarves are ready. And yeah, there we go. Just as all second edition Warhammer titles. Steven says, yeah, I painted a bunch of those 93 skeletons back in the 90s. I have a couple of 1,000 points of Empire with dwarves and halfling support units from back then too. Listen, it's a dumb name, but it's got pedigree, pub. Definitely. The last tournament Dave Hummel played in was Warhammer Fantasy way back in 2012. Yeah. So we covered that. Skaven Dark Elves probably getting new armies in Age of Sigmar. Oh, there is that. Jeff says, thank you and looking forward to that. Definitely would be cool. Jeff says, I got a crap ton of Forge World Chaos Dwarves I was hoping to play again in Old World. We'll have to work out some ways to make that happen, Jeff. That'd be good. And Jeff says, yeah, I want to play it before we chat for sure. Jeff says, where's my Famir? In the swamp, probably, come to think of it. Definitely. And John says, John Steining, hey, John. Says unit fillers are such a good way to add a mini diorama to a unit. Definitely are.
Yeah, that I get.
Yep, sure. That Paul says, my bad, you are correct. Yes, skeletons piloting meat suits. Definitely. And Dave Hummel says, yes, they did an article on it in the Warhammer community page. So, and he says that his the Empire army, I'm guessing the one that he got rid of, was fully painted. Weird.
Nice. Oh,
very cool.
Ow.
But yeah, I think so I found the Old World stuff. Hang on a second. Okay, cool. I'm super lucky, very privileged that my army that I collected for Warhammer Fantasy is included in the 9.
Well, of course, they like Games Workshop's they're not crazy. Like, we got to make sure that Dave's army is. Like, he's done so much R&D for us over the years. We'll make sure we keep his army real.
Make sure it's all good. But they have decided that I need to change my basing for all of it. So I am just going to wait until I get the book. I've ordered the rule book and the Forces of Fantasy book. No name. And then I'll be able to have a look at all of that and work out what I'm going to do. Empire, which Empire army I might transfer over first. And,
right on.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything else? Any other new things that you're excited about at the start of this year? No? Yes?
No, I don't think so.
I have a quick question for everybody. Can everybody hear a whistling sound in the background? Fairly intense whistling sound? No?
I don't hear it.
It must be because of this microphone. I am in my basement. My desk is right next to my boiler. It's there. I can almost reach out and touch it. And of course, it's super cold here in Baltimore tonight, so the boiler is running.
That's why I got my electric heater going here.
Yeah. I can't hear you either, mainly because I've got this boiler going right here.
It's nice and quiet. It's right behind me.
Excellent. Just as a fan or something, it's not mad loud though. That's good. Cliff says negative Ghost Rider. Patrick's here. Hi, Patrick. So sorry, I was just calling my dog back inside. Awesome. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of the photos from the Facebook group for us to go through. But just before we do jump into that, I'm going to go back to something that's totally on brand, Scott. It's a little bit of my the way that I get. I'll hear something, see something on social media, I see a meme or somebody going, "Oh my god!" In this case, it was talking about the 17-year and 13-year cycles of. In Australia, we'd say cicadas.
Oh yeah.
In America, we say cicadas. So I'm in America, so I'm going to say cicadas. I don't know if you've seen any of this, but there's a thing going around where people are like, "Oh my goodness! All across America, the 17-year cicadas are going to come out, and the 13-year cicadas are going to come out because that hasn't happened since 1803." Blah blah blah. It's going to be crazy. I was like, "Hang on a second. I know here in Baltimore, the 17-year cicadas came out like 3 years ago." So I looked into it. And I found this image. I was like, is this just some sort of stupid, crazy social media thing? But that's because I'm over here where the this Brood 10 is. It's actually, can everybody see my cursor moving, or is it just me?
I can see it.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, so Brood 10 here. This is me in Maryland. So we just have to worry about that one. It comes up every next time will be 2038. However, in this part of the country here, which is kind of central Illinois, is where the orange group, the orange 13-year. Oh, sorry. There we go. 13-year, and the brown, so Brood 13 for will overlap. So if you live in central Illinois,
come for the managers, stay for the cicada occupation map.
Exactly.
So as you'll notice, up where I live in Massachusetts and New England, no one cares because there's no cicadas there. They're steadily down on the Cape. There's some purple ones, but that's not going to be until next year. So, but I live north of that purple blob, which means I've never seen a cicada a day in my life.
Right. Fantastic. In Australia, sorry, I think Brett Abbott said cicadas aren't dangerous enough for us. We do actually have them. And not only do we have them, they come out every year. Or at least, I'm guessing if there are broods, so that they're on our cycle, so that every year we have cicadas. And sometimes it gets so loud, you can't hear yourself think. They rupture eardrums.
Nice.
Send people crazy.
Cliff says that this is just Dave justifying starting a new Tyranid army.
Shh. Anyway, sorry. I find that sort of stuff fascinating.
I thought it was really cool, but I was like, that's not going to affect us. We don't have them in New England.
Yeah. Just quickly, Scott says that new Bretonian Great Weapon Lord is terrible, man. I was really hoping for some old aesthetic with their new tech. So far, unimpressed. Here's my take on that. The models itself isn't too bad. The face is where the problems lie.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the paint job or the lighting or what, but like
it's probably a mix of the sculpt and the lighting. I think it was one of Martin Fortit's earliest sculpts. And he's probably like, oh my god, really? What? Why? So yeah, it was an odd choice. I'm not sure it's particularly great, but but it just says yes. What if they form Mecha Cicada? Awesome, fantastic. And Scott says, "Man, with all the money I saved not buying Legions and Old World stuff, I got a Monument Hobbies Go bag. Awesome, very cool." Cicadas and summer background noise for all anime. Did not know that.
Yeah, Chris said the same thing. It's the old one.
Yeah, it was originally sculpted in 2008, so but never made it into the range at the time.
Scott, of course, Australia's cicadas every year. They come out, drag some small children to the underneath, and then everyone carries on with their day. And then he followed that up with that face looks like the face from an old Elra cover before people learned how to draw good.
Both of these things are absolutely true.
Yeah.
Yep. completely. And Matt says fingers on that Lord are a little long as well.
My two favorite models from the range, and if they reprint them, I'm going to buy them, is the Green Knight.
Yep.
The Green Knight is, to this day, one of my favorite models. I think it's one of the coolest models they've ever done. And then the mounted King.
Okay, like Leon Leonker.
Yeah, Leon Leonker is like that. That model is awesome. Like the bare-headed helmet with the bucket helm. Throw that in the trash.
Right.
The full helm.
Full
that
model
helm. Is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I definitely think the Green Knight is going to be re-released. So keep an eye on it.
It just holds up. Like as an old metal model, like it's just a great sculpt. Who sculpted that one? I forget who sculpted that one.
Oh, the Green Knight?
Yeah.
That was Michael Perry.
It is okay.
Yeah, it's Perry's.
Yeah, I mean they always the Perrys always did great horses. So most mounted models, but I wasn't sure if that was them or not.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, that model's great. All right, what do we got? Let's look at some pictures.
What do we got? We have so for the first episode of season 4, 2024, we have starting off with some scarabs, Necron scarabs from Aaron Provost.
Nice.
So Aaron is excited to be getting back to painting. He had a couple of months without much painting. But excited to be getting these. I'm loving the highlights on these guys.
I always thought it was really funny that there's like 3 different sizes of scarabs now.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, it gives them more of a like a realistic bug feel.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to be realistic. They're supposed to be metal bugs. They're metal bug robots.
I know, but I guess
it's not like the 2 fat ones in the middle had the others as like a litter. Like they're all stamped out by a machine.
Well, I wonder if they grow. Are they? Do they not? They're not nanotechnology.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
They are cool though. They look great.
I think they do look cool. Nice work, Aaron. And then there we go. So Cal, I think Cal might still be in the chat. I've been painting up some of the abyssal dwarves from Mantic.
This looks like the crew from Time Bandits.
It does have that kind of that feel, doesn't it? Yep, definitely. Sorry, just quickly, Stephen suggesting that the scarab sizing issue is a scale creep. It's like stealthy scale creep. We'll just increase the size of some for the moment.
Yeah.
Excellent. But yeah, looking cool there. I'm liking Cal's use of the colored inks there for like the green and the blue there.
They look great.
Nice one. Next up, we have Chris Gorka. So Chris recently finished up this Triumph for St. Catherine model for a Sisters of Battle Army. It's just such an elaborate model.
It's almost finished.
Almost finished?
Yeah, look at all those blank scrolls.
Oh, okay.
Come on. They look great. I told them what I do when I get to this point is I bust out my Micron pen.
Right.
And I do like a big red like block shape, like the like the illustrated illuminated letters, and then I do scribbles in like black Micron pen, and then I'll go back and I'll watch it.
Right. Yep.
You can't just have a bunch of blank scrolls.
That's true.
They're like, hear ye, come see the news, come see the word.
Excellent. Yeah. So Stephen says they actually make Time Bandits minis, and just says Northumbrian Tin Soldier do official Time Bandits minis, and they're excellent.
Wow. As long as I can get Sean Connery as a hoplite and Sark from Tron as the evil wizard, like I'm down.
Nice. You have to go and check them out. But no, absolutely true. Dave Hummels is such a busy model. It is completely super busy. But yeah, again, Chris has done a beautiful job.
No, I really like this. I saw somebody do this. God, who was it? I saw somebody do this, and they did each of the sisters as one of the orders, because the whole idea is that they're each carrying a relic.
Right.
So like there's like the Order of the Sacred Heart, the Order of Our Martyred Lady, the Order of the Ardent Shroud, and like so he did each one of the 5 sisters as one of the orders. It looks so cool. Like it looks fantastic. This is nice. I kind of like that he made it very uniform.
Yep.
And then I saw another version of this where somebody did OSL.
Right.
So all of the candles are the source lighting. So the closer you get to the middle of the model, the better lit it is.
Oh, okay.
And the further you get to the outside, the like so you like their outside edges, they're all in darkness.
Right.
It was really, really neat.
Yeah, that's great. But looks fantastic, Chris. Great work. Next up from Chris, you painted up the Amidala set.
Yep.
I can't remember what it's called.
We are brave.
Pardon? We are brave.
We are brave.
For Shatterpoint. So super cool there.
The transitions he got in the Handmaiden's dress are so good.
Yeah. Yeah. They definitely look cool. Yeah. Sorry. Just yep, Connery and the Minotaur and the Evil and his minions. Kevin and the Pig too.
Oh, so good.
You'll have to go and check it out now. But yeah, Chris has done a great job here. Beautiful work, Chris.
Yeah, these are phenomenal.
Awesome.
There we
Chris
go.
Yep. So Chris,
if those are pushed back just a little bit with some terrain, you'd be like, are those 40K scale or are those?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, obviously you're like, well, they're an inch long, so they're definitely not like 40K size.
Exactly. But now he used used some decals from the full size Heresy transfer sheet.
Yeah, those are like the shoulder and the knee pad markings.
Yep. Yep. He just wanted a little bit of color on his things. So I didn't realize that the Legions vehicle transfer sheets are all black and white, or they're all black, I guess. But yeah, nice one there, Chris.
Yeah, they look awesome.
He's
even got the tiny little one on the door. On the side door, the little white one.
Yep. Having spent a whole bunch of time over the weekend putting decals on, it's a lot of work putting on a tiny decal like that. But next up, we've got Chris Kemig. Chris finished his sergeant for his recon squad.
Very nice.
Looking cool. Great.
I do like that guy. Like being in the process of painting the Eliminators, I was like, it's the same guy. It's just it's not Primaris.
Yeah. Yep. But looking good, Chris. And Chris also finished up his Master of Signals.
Yeah. All I can think of, like, that is literally straight up based on the old Rogue Trader Camo Marine that's in there. It's so good.
Absolutely. That helmet is awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. But yeah, nice work, Chris. Looks great. Cool. Excellent. Next up, we have Cliff. I think this is the only photo I grabbed, Cliff stuff, but he's working with a Land Raider Proteus, but he's been wanting to do it up as a Redeemer for his Ultramarines. So he has 3D printed the sponson there, and on the Facebook group, he's also added in the there's a couple of pictures with the Flamer. Is the Redeemer has the Flamer?
The Redeemer is flamers and on a twin linked assault cannon.
Right. Yep.
And then you've got the Crusader, which is the hurricane bolters, and the I think that also has an assault cannon. And then there's this is the classic Land Raider with the over and under last cannons on the side.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, looking good. But if I'm excited to see this painted at Adepticon.
Very nice.
Cool. Next up, Dave Hummel. Dave painted up some Terminators recently.
Nice.
Really looking good for his Shadowhawks chapter. And great with those. So this is the 30k Tartarus pattern Terminators.
Yeah, I really like the Tartaros. The Tartaros pattern is one of my favorites. I really enjoy it.
They do look great. I must say I prefer Cataphracti, but it's a pretty close run thing.
So yeah, I'm the opposite. I don't like the Cataphracti. I don't like the
Yeah, I like these as well, but particularly with the Lightning Claws, they look best with Lightning Claws, I think.
I mean, the Indominus pattern are probably my favorite Terminator. Like, that's what Terminators are supposed to look like.
Yeah. Scott says, I hate people that make the Land Raiders so the Sponson guns are behind the doors. Watch your step, bro.
Dude, Scott, I agree 100%. Every time I see a Land Raider like that on a table or on a photo or something, I'm like, you built it wrong.
Yeah.
I'm like, so not only does it not make sense, because now, yeah, when you get out, you could potentially shoot your own guys, but it makes it so like it's bad in both ways. Like either you have to stop shooting so your guys can get out, or you could potentially kill your own guys. I'm like, if you just move it up, it fixes both problems. You can get out and it can still shoot. Like,
excellent.
It is dumb. It makes no sense.
Anyway, things look great, Dave. Nice work. Indeed, looking good. Next up, Jeff Smith.
Ooh.
Jeff has been painting up a whole bunch of German armored fighting vehicles. There's a couple of tanks and some assault guns there.
Jeff, are you using this for Flames of War, or are you playing World of Tanks?
Not sure.
It could be either.
Could be either. Could be. But yeah, I think it's. So we've got a couple of tigers in there.
Yeah, that's an elephant in the back.
I was going to say, is that an elephant at the back?
And then the one on the right is the two in the back are Tiger 2s.
Okay.
Or King Tigers, I should say.
King Tigers.
And then the two in the middle are those are Tigers. Those are first gen
Tiger ones. Yeah.
And then the three in the front, I think those are Jagd Tigers.
I think they are. Oh,
yeah, those aren't Stugs. Those are
Jagd Panthers. Maybe.
Huh?
Are they Jagd Panthers?
They could be Jagd Panthers. Those might be Jagd Panthers.
I know. Anyway, but yeah, the camouflage is looking really good there.
Yeah.
Jeff's done a great job. Yep. Very cool. Okay. Next up. Jeff posted a photo of his.
Yeah, this guy is great.
Yep. He does look super cool.
He looks like a superhero is what he looks like.
Right. You're right.
Like,
he does.
This guy should get his own comic book. Like, this guy looks great.
It's the black hood and the white faceplate, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Definitely cool.
Yeah, he looks awesome. He did such a great job with the camo too. Like, he did the white outline on everything.
Yep. Okay, Jeff says it's a mouse, 2 Tiger 2s, 2 Tiger 1s, and 3 Panzer 4s. Okay. Anyway.
Jeff, what are you using them for? Are you using them for World of Tanks, or is it for Flames of War?
Or is it commission? But anyway, yeah, beautiful work on this guy. It is the black hood with the white face plate. Gives it a very superhero sort of feel. But yeah, it looks great. Nice work.
You just gotta put some writing on that purity seal.
Excellent. Next up is Mark Kostelniak.
Baba Yaga's Hut.
Baba Yaga's Hut.
Great.
Cool.
Great work.
Yeah. Those look awesome. When it settles down, it's just a fantastic haunted house, right?
Yeah, it's super cool.
Yeah, Mark's done an awesome job on there. I love the weathering, that mossy look on the wood and up on the
there's so much going on in this thing.
Yeah, definitely cool.
Yeah, there's an orc skull in the main window.
Yep.
And then there's like the jack-o'-lantern on the steps, and then there's like the weird bird feeder ossuary on the left side.
Right.
That's really neat.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely cool. Awesome work, Mark. Looks great. And Matt posted some photos.
These are awesome.
Where so I think Matt is now moving from working on Tyranids for Tale of War Gamers to working on a flying squig army.
Those are known as squings.
Squings? Oh my goodness. Really? Do I have to use that term? Okay. Awesome squings.
And they look super cool.
Yeah. Definitely good. Jeff said that those tanks were a tutorial video for Battlefront.
Oh, nice. Awesome.
So cool. Yeah. So he's got that one, and that's the sort of the group shot so far. A bunch of the Beast Snagger boys.
So good.
Some riding those awesome squigs. But yeah, flying squigs are great.
Yeah, those are great.
What I gotta ask you, Matt. There he goes. Sorry. Matt says, "Yeah, I have no focus in my life." But I gotta ask, were you sitting there and you had some of those? You just sort of put them together, and then you had some gargoyle wings just sitting around, and you went, "Hang on a second, maybe." I'm curious. They look great, though. I'm excited to see them painted up. But yeah, really good. Nice one, Matt.
Yeah, those are awesome. I really like the big guy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Big guy is super cool. Next up, we've got Scott. Scott's going to work in progress. Not sure you're going to be able to get this finished in time, Scott, for LVO. Don't know.
Hopefully the other half is also almost done.
Yeah, just plunk it on top. But yeah, I love this. One of the things I was messing around with last week was like pushing my contrast on like rounded volumes. And so when I saw this, it was like, oh yeah, cool. This is awesome. So Scott's done there's a bunch of stuff in a very similar fashion to the way I was messing around with stuff, which was if you look at the knee pads, the rounded shapes on the thighs there, and that helmet.
Yeah.
Or a very scratchy kind of approach to it. Scratchy approach to the highlighting. But yeah. Oh, Scott says no, but he's taking a commissar and a steampunk thingy bust. Nice. Speaking of the commissar, that's the next shot we've got.
Very nice.
They're taking this guy along. Yeah, which looks great.
Yeah, he's great. The non-metallic on the chest plate is probably my favorite thing on this model. It just looks so good.
Yeah. No, it is really good.
Although his Wolverine lamb chops are pretty great also. His like Wolverine pork chops he's got going on.
Yep. You just call them pork chops?
Yeah, the little pork chops you got going on.
Checks down the side there. Yep. Excellent. Yep. Oh, Scott says he'll finish it off when he gets back. It's fun and fairly quick to get to that point. Matt says, "Don't turn around." Uh-oh.
Seriously. He is in town.
He is indeed in town. But yeah, looking great there, Scott. All the best with that guy. Hope he does well. I think one of my favorite things is the variety of textures. So this treatment of the sword blade and the metal on the gun is very similar, as you would expect. But it's then very different to the cloak, which is again very different to the concrete. Sometimes when we get caught up in our painting, we end up painting everything in a very similar textural way. Everything out, but good work there, Scott. Looks great.
Oh, he looks great.
Sean Gleason posted this pic of some of his Inquisitor minis.
So these are old school. So there's the Eldar sniper on the left.
Yep.
And then I forget what that Inquisitor's name is. It's the guy with the
Covenant.
sight cannon.
Covenant.
Who is it? Oh,
Inquisitor Covenant. Yep.
Those are great.
What about the Rogue Trader on the right?
I have no idea who that is. I didn't buy him.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
But I had the other two. I had Covenant and the Eldar.
Yep. Definitely cool. There we go. Matt Ball says mutton chops.
Nice.
Neither lamb nor pork, but mutton. And Josh has some amazing painting skills in the Build Paint Play community. Definitely. And Scott says, my goal all year has been to get a silver standard this year. He got bronze last year. So, yeah, we wish you the best on that.
Yeah, good luck, man.
But, yeah, fantastic work there, Sean.
I do like that he freehanded the double-headed eagle on his, like, tabard.
Yep. Looks great. Nice one. Next up. Okay, yeah, Stephen posted this in the group. He said that he's now taken to arranging his paint on his wet palette so that he can turn it into a little landscape at the end of the session.
It's very Bob Ross. There's some happy little trees.
Super Bob Ross
over there.
So I think that's awesome. Yeah, you can see there how that might work, and but yeah, awesome.
Pretty neat.
Just having some great fun there. Nice. But then Stephen also posted the finished picture of his 3 squat.
Oh my God, these are awesome.
Yep.
Like imagine that for a second. Like, okay, we're in the future.
Yep.
And 3 dwarves, which you're like, okay, cool. They got like boots and belts and like padded vests on. That makes sense. I got it. And then they have like goggles, and you're like, okay, cool. They're like, and they have mohawks. You're like, all right. And they have like swords and chain swords, and they're on hover skateboards. Like it's ridiculous. Like I love it.
Absolutely ridiculous. That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, fantastic. Yep, awesome. Great work there, Stephen.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Super cool. Thanks for sharing. It was great to see the progress in these as well, as each one was painted up. If you haven't seen these in the group, definitely go and check out the Facebook group. The link is below. Join up and post some of your own photos too, which would be super cool. And then I think finally we've got this piece from Tim Martin.
What the hell is that?
It's amazing though, isn't it?
It's like a Robo Carnifex.
Yeah. Yep. But it's big. It's super big.
Yeah, I mean, he's great.
Yep. The front of it's like the armor plates remind me a bit of a Leviathan dreadnought.
Yeah, it almost looks like a Leviathan shoulder piece.
Yeah.
And then the thing in the middle looks like part of the brass scorpion. It's like the armor cowl.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd be curious to see like where all these parts came. Like, is this a kit bash or is this a 3D print?
I think it's probably a mix of the two. Would be my guess. But yeah, looks super cool. He said that he painted it up for ReaperCon in 2022, but didn't get to go. So I was suggested that he definitely tries to take it to ReaperCon this year.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think the last few years ReaperCon's been on the same weekend as Nova, so the Labor Day weekend. But I have a feeling, I think I heard that they are moving it back to the October spot that they were looking for.
Mecha Hierophant? Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, the only problem is like there's nothing really in the foreground for scale, so I don't know how big it is.
Right.
Although that drink cup in the background looks like it's like a 20-ounce glass. So that thing's base has got to be like this.
Yeah.
That's like a 12-inch pizza plate it's on.
Yeah. It's definitely big for sure. But no, looks awesome. Great work, Tim. Very nice. And I think that concludes that concludes the minis for the Facebook group this evening.
Nice. I'll give everybody a sneak peek of next week if they want, because next week is our 4 warlords, right? So I got my chaplain. He's getting there. Is he focused?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's getting there. I gotta do his shoulder plate still, and I did. You can't really see it in this because it's so dark in here, but all of the gold I did with rough iron, and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do it so it looks really like antique. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna weather it up so only the very extreme edges are like gold.
Right.
Because I don't want my guy. I can't stand when you see like models and it's like he's like covered in gold, and I'm like, you wouldn't look like that. I don't want him to look like Mecha Pope. Like that's not what I'm going for. So, and then the eliminators were fun. So I did them all black and I have them all like camoed out. So normally because my guys are the flesh eaters and they're bright red. All I did was I did like a magenta wash on like the shoulder rim.
Okay.
And when I do my transfers, the transfers will be in red and their squad markers will be in red because the military uses red a lot because it doesn't screw up your night vision.
Right. Okay.
But there won't be any white on the model and there won't really be any like bright red. And then I started doing like the dazzle camo on the back.
Right.
And then I'm doing this like the lightning bolt line.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that all the way up to white and it'll be like the predator cloak. So from that point down, it'll match the base.
Okay, nice.
So I found this really cool tutorial that this guy did. I mean, we talked about this last week. I must have looked at 40 or 50 different versions of it. And I was like, I kind of like this one, but I kind of like that. So I did my cloaks so they're dazzle. And then I'm using the effect from another tutorial that I kind of liked. And I'm mixing it with a third one that shows how to like transition the cloak and use the texture stuff on it.
Yeah.
But they'll be fun. But I'll have all 4 of them done for next week. So that's 2 more units done. That's the chaplain and then the eliminators. Nice. And then I will show you this. Oh God.
Just while Jake's grabbing that, Stephen's saying, glad I had the chance to tune in live. Fun episode. I will go and leave a like and a comment when it goes up proper. That's something that would be great if everybody could do that. Everybody's watching. It apparently appeases the algorithm gods and helps.
Yeah, please help appease the algorithm gods. So,
yes.
Finally got my executioner.
Excellent.
And
I can't see what it is.
All 3 repulsors.
All 3 repulsors.
Finally got all 3. I got this old school box.
Yep.
That I think this one I've been sitting on for a while. And then Jim traded me one.
Nice.
And then we finally got a restock, so I was able to get the other one.
Awesome.
So now I have all those. So at this point, I think all I have left to buy is after I'm done with those, I'm gonna try to do the 2 repulsors.
Yep.
2 of the repulsors next because they'll be red. And then I'm gonna do the executioner, which is the command vehicle. And then I'm gonna do the last repulsor, and that'll be my death company one. So that one will be black. So I'll have to do it. I'm gonna paint that a different way. Okay. And then when I'm done with that, I think I just have to paint. I think I have 4 units after that. Not 4 units. Yeah, 4 units. I have to paint Death Company, a unit of intercessors, and then
2 more assault intercessor.
No, because I already have 1 unit done. Right. I got to do 1 more assault intercessors, 1 more Death Company intercessors, and then I got to do 2 lieutenants.
Okay.
I got to do 2 sanguinary priests. Yeah. And I got to paint my captain.
Right. Nice.
And since you guys are doing extra, I have a Leviathan that's like mostly done. I'm going to go back and I'm going to convert it over and I'm going to redo the basing, redo all the markings. I have to like put some flesh eater stuff on it, but it'll match the army. So it'll all be cohesive.
Awesome. That's going to be super cool. I might grab something.
I will probably just run him since you can't run Leviathans anymore in 40K, I will probably just run him as a Brutalis.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. I'm gonna grab. Where is he? Here we go. He's one of the guys that I painted up this past one.
Nice.
This
oh,
is
that's
the.
Is that the limited edition chaplain?
Yep. So
very nice.
I really liked him. I never got him when he was released, so I had to hunt him down.
He is my only issue with that model. I mean, this has nothing to do with your paint job. He looks great. My only issue with that model is he is so busy.
Oh yeah.
Like so on the front, he has like a hat rack on the front of him.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
It's like his skull, 2 full-size skulls, 2 full-size skulls, a full-size skull, his belt buckle. Like there's 6 skulls on the front.
He's carrying a lot of history for sure.
It's a hat rack.
That's why I didn't.
He has like beads. He has beads all over him, and like
I left the back very plain,
which you had to, because I'm sure you were exhausted after painting the front.
Yeah, so many skulls.
Yeah, I mean he's insane.
But yeah, he was a lot of fun to work on. Definitely cool.
I painted one of those a couple years ago. We did like a Secret Santa thing, so yeah. I painted one of those a couple years ago for our buddy Nick out in Chicago, and sent it to him, and he was fun. But yeah, working on him, I was like, this is too much. So I definitely toned down the front. I think I did the skulls like I did them. I think I did like again that antique gold, so they were very dull, like with just some highlights on them, just so it's not just like a wall of white. Because otherwise, his front is so light. You've got all the scroll work, and then like he's got the big belt buckle and like the eagle, and like I said, there's like the 5 skulls, and then his skull mask. And I'm like, Chaplin's supposed to be black with a splash of color, and he's like white. He's like a white Marine with like black arms.
Was the yeah. After I painted him, and I painted the new one.
Yeah, I like he's a little more subtle. I like him.
Yeah, he's much more subtle. I had to go with the bone colored ribs. There we go.
Yeah, I like it. Again, he's almost done.
Otherwise, it'd be too much black.
He's almost done.
What are you talking about?
Okay, all right, it's on there. All right. I'm just making sure. I was like, you can't do that.
Awesome. But I gave him the shield.
Yeah, I really like the way you transition the shield too. So it's like that bright teal to like dark.
Yeah.
So like the front of like where his hand would be is like black because it's so shadowed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That chaplain is great.
Cool. But yeah, cool, awesome. So yeah, next week we have episode 4 of the Tale of 4 Warlords. So myself, Jake, Jeff Smith, and John Schaefer will be coming to show you a lot more of the stuff that we've been working on. We also will introduce. We have a Tale of 4 Warlords sponsor for our final 4 episodes, which will be super cool to talk about. We'll show you some stuff from them. That's in addition to our season sponsor of the Army Painter. Once again, link down below. You can check out their website. You can place a pre-order with them, or you can do that at your local friendly local game store, or with Jake.
And if you don't have a friendly local game store, I will be your friendly local game store.
He will, indeed. The week after that, so January 30th, we're going to be talking with Carl Tuttle and Josh Sawyer from the Independent Characters podcast. We're going to be chatting with them about the incredible longevity of the Independent Characters podcast and how they keep coming up with different ideas. Of course, they're only talking about one game system, really. One game setting, really. But yeah, it's going to be cool to chat with Carl and Josh. As I mentioned, at some point in February, we'll be talking with Josh from Crown of Command. And we will also be talking at some point in February or possibly March, just before Adepticon, with Patrick Keith from Bombshell Miniatures. And then, oh my goodness, I have my list, but it fell. Remember when everything fell off the desk earlier?
It's all good. It's all good. We can go over it next time. We don't need to do it all today.
No, but there's a whole bunch of other great folks that we're going to be hopefully talking to over the course of the season. Sam Lenz, Damon Drescher, Ben and Connor from Blacksite Studios, Mac Martin, possibly.
Yep.
So yeah, loads of cool folks coming up over the next 19 episodes of season.
Should be a good time. Patrick, once you get that gladiator painted, post some pictures in the Facebook page, and we'll put it up here and show it off.
Excellent. That'll be cool. Definitely. So Matt has put in his little thing that we need to work on our rhythm to be able to say, but it's we aim to game, and to do so you have to build, paint, play.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep.
Well, again, thank you everybody for joining us. Hopefully this is a good start to season 4, and we will see you all next week. And if you need anything, obviously hit us up on the Facebook page, and one of us will get back to you. But otherwise, we will see you guys next week. Dave, we all set?
I think we are. It's going to be a little bit of clicking and running, but fingers crossed.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. And as always, don't forget to build, paint, play.
Shut up and sit down. Shut up and sit down.